Alright, friends, we are back for. Okay. RIP headphone users, but it didn't look like my mic was plugged in, so I had to check. But we are back for game 2, POT finals. Whatever Negan's form name is, I'll have all that in the titles, but I'm not going to look it up right now because I am a lazy mon. And Finch. This time, to my eyes, it looks like Finch has the team advantage because Specs Keldeo demolishes these kinds of teams because nothing switches into anything except for Latias, but he has Zame and Weavile and Jirachi and Azu, and Latias is not looking so good. And then Zam is a problem, especially if it's Mega or even Life Orb. Both both variants are like stupid good versus Mugen's team. Like the only thing he has to, because I'm assuming that's Banded Rack, so you can't like revenge with Scarf Rack or anything. Like the only thing he has to deal with it is Pharaoh absorbs a hit, even though I think Focus Blast kills. Well, if it's Spadef, I think it lives Focus Blast from Mega Zam by a sliver and can KO back with Gyro Ball. But if it's Fizdef or like even mixed, then I don't think it can live a Focus Blast. I might be wrong on that though. But the concept is there. Like I doubt it can even take something like Psychic plus Focus Blast. So Mugen's really only hope is Talon, but I mean he has Rachi, Hazu, Lando T, even Weavile to an extent, depending on the speed. Because depending on the speed, if it has enough, if Weavile has enough speed to outspeed, and then Ice Shard, that might be annoying. So yeah, things are not looking very good for Mugen, but shout out to him for using Rack. Like, there's some Scarf Rachi's making a comeback too. I'm in disbelief. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get into this one right here. As Finch leads with Azu this time because Azu decimates Mugen's team. As he leads with Ferrothorn, and it is Protect Ferrothorn. So Finch plays it wise and just goes for the superpower. Probably gonna double to Weavile right here. I might have doubled to Lando T, predicting the Talon or the Latias. But Weavile works, they try and catch Latias. High School Crash misses. Right there, which is unfortunate versus a Powdon because it gets a EQ off and everything. But Finch makes up for it right away and gets crit flinch on Hippowdon, which is mighty unfortunate, but I guess you can pretty much call it even. I mean, I don't know who it's worse for because Mugen probably wouldn't have stayed in had the first crash hit, but at the same time Hippowdon would have been weak. So I don't know, but either way I guess it makes up. This Talonflame just took a bunch of damage from superpower, and all it can do is Willow trying to hit Lando T on the switch, and he has absolutely nothing else to switch Keldeo into. I would have probably at least gone to like Latias or something because the Weavile is dead. I don't know what health the Latias is at though. I think it's pretty high. So stacking your Talon, which at least from my eyes, again I'm not the best player, especially at ORAS, but I think Talon was Mugen's best chance of winning. So he just sacks it right there, which is a play that I disagree with. Rachi's going to come in to deal with Guard and his HP Fire Guard, which is a little worse versus Rachi, but it's better versus where, and the damage output is not that negligible, or you know what I'm trying to say. So right here, Banded Rack. Oh, I forgot to mention this too. But Finch doesn't really have that many switch-ins for Banded Terrakion, but not very many teams do. But if Finch wins some 50-50s, like if he predicts CC goes to Lando, or if he predicts Stone Edge, he can stay in with Jirachi like he did right there. Predicting Mugen to go for the Stone Edge to try and pick up the 2 KO on Lando, or go to like Keldeo or something. And then, or CC, he can go to Azu too, depending on the set. And then he'll be in a pretty good spot, but again, Finch has to win those 50-50s. Which is kind of lame, but he wins it right there. And Stone Edge doesn't even connect, it just misses. But I think Stone Edge only does like 20 anyway, after lefties, that is. And Finch just fires off an Iron Head. And right here, Finch is probably just going to fire off an Iron Head again. Nope. Finch is just going to U-turn right there. Smart play, though, because he knows that Mugen has to switch out. I might have fire punched right there just to get a little extra damage on the Pharaoh, but at the same time, going for U-turn, grabbing momentum, and just going out to like Zam and focus blasting or Keldeo and going for Spec Secret Sword is better anyway. I don't even know why I mentioned fire punching, just to assert dominance, I guess. But I guess U-turn asserts dominance too, or at least enough. Versus Mugen, because Zam comes in and he just dips out of there. He's just like, I'm not winning this. This team matchup is garbage, and Mega Zam like blows me back. But he didn't play very well, in my opinion. Or I think he had a shitty matchup, but he definitely could have made a couple better plays. I think he needed to keep Talon around, and then Finch, he just played it really well, and was able to decimate this guy. Like if these two were out in the wild, in game 1, Mugen marks his territory and takes that piss. Finch, he took a waterfall all over that spot. He reclaimed his territory with a waterfall of animal piss. But enough about that. Because game 2 is short, we're gonna do game 3 in the same session. And here we are. And this is why I believe that Mugen's name is cause and effect, because 2 a.m. But that name sounds pretty familiar, cause and effect, and that's the name that he's using right there. So that's why I'm guessing his name is cause and effect, but I won't know until I actually go through and make the titles. But anyways, he's using an interesting team. Diggersby, you don't see that very often. Amoonguss, not unheard of. Typically when you see Amoonguss, though, it's on teams that, at least to my understanding, it's on teams that would like Mega Venu support, but they have their Mega slot tied up in something else. So Amoonguss is just the next best option. But I guess on this particular team, maybe just having something to absorb like fairy moves repeatedly or water moves repeatedly, and being able to have that regen works better than Venu, because Venu can get worn down, especially if it gets burned by like Keldeo Scald, and he really doesn't have anything else to switch into Keldeo. So I guess that makes sense. Zoroark, you never see that. I'm a fan of Zoroark though, because I think that it's definitely a unique mon with its ability and can be useful. And then Mandibuzz. I don't know what that Mandibuzz is going to do. I don't really see how Mandibuzz kind of fits his team though. But you know, he's in the finals, not me, and I'm not an Horas expert, so maybe it makes complete sense, and I'm just wrong. Well, here's Finch, and it looks like he's using a Mega Aerodactyl team with AV Metagross, and I hate these types of teams. And I mean, AV Metagross is alright if you have nothing else to take on, like Mega Zam or like Mega Guard or something, but I just feel like whenever you use AV Metagross, it's just wasted potential, because that could be a Mega Metagross. And it's like you're not fooling anyone. It's like, if you're a regular Arrow, then you're kind of bad. Usually these types of teams work out alright if they're like Zam plus Mega Metagross. You see those sometimes. And not Zam, but Mega Zam plus AV Gross, because regular Zam is actually viable. But at the same time, like, Skarm kind of loses momentum for this team, and you already have Lando, so Skarm really isn't going to do you any good. So I guess it's the best case option, but once again, CB Rec decimates Finch's team, especially because he's using not hyper offense, but he's using offense, and Rack 2-hit KOs or OKOs literally everything. Diggersby's a problem. And if that's something like Scarf Train, that's a problem too. Because I believe Scarf Train has the jump on Jolly Arrow. Just by a little, and Scarf Train is just kind of annoying. Especially because he has a bunch of fat stuff to hit, or to take hits from all the things that Scarf Train can't really deal with. Like, if Lando T comes in and that's Scarf to deal with Heat Train or Guard Chomp, then he has fat to deal with it. And then Zoroark is always annoying because you don't know what it could be. Like, you could have a Diggersby come in, and then you go out to your Lando T to deal with it, and then you just get bopped by Zoroark HP Ice, and then you just lose to Diggersby and CB Rack. So times are looking kind of tough for Finch, but once again, it's not impossible. So we're just gonna go ahead and see how things goes. As he's gonna lead with Morphine right there because Keldeo puts in a lot of work versus cause and effects, or Keldeo's Finch. Oh my god, Finch's Keldeo puts in a lot of work versus the team. But Amoonguss can potentially get a free sleep off, and he just doesn't want Amoonguss to take any unnecessary damage from the Keldeo. If Finch wanted to lead with that, because it's a problem for his team bar the Amoonguss. But Finch doesn't lead with that. He's just going to go ahead sack the Metagross. The Sleep Metagross isn't really doing anything this game. Bar maybe taking a couple of hits, but that's why I hate AV Metagross, because it pretty much does, it does very little, at least from my experience, but I'm not playing. And then Finch mispredicts right here on the Diggersby, figures that Mandibuzz switch is going to come in. But Diggersby decides to stay in and Sword Stance, predicting that more than likely, so good play from Cause and Effect. As Diggersby is going to go down, but yeah, Diggersby is going to go down, but Finch is able to kill him. Goes for the Stone Edge again, either trying to hit the Mandibuzz Cause and Effect wanted to be slick, or trying to bluff Cause and Effect into thinking that that's Scarf Lando. I'm just going to go ahead and say that it's not, and the Chomp is actually offensive, and that's Rocks Lando, but Finch is doing a good job of bluffing him right there to try and surprise him later on in the match. But Arrow's going to go ahead and get its Mega off, so like I said, that's bad Metagross set and Mega Arrow. As we're going to go ahead and see two coverage moves revealed, being Aqua Tail. Also, Heatran can't really switch in, and Ice Fang, so Mandibuzz can't really switch in, but Mandibuzz couldn't switch in anyway because they almost always carry Stone Edge, which he goes for right there. And we see Toxic Amoonguss, which is unusual. Normally, if they carry another status, it's Stun Spore, but it is Toxic in this case. I guess he doesn't want to get beat by, I don't know. It doesn't seem that bad, but we're gonna see SD right there, and I was hoping for Sub-Select, but I guess Giga Drain probably would break the sub anyway. And this is CB Rack. Scarf Rack can't break that sub, so, or that Chomp in one hit. So this is CB Rack because we don't see any Life Orb or anything. And Chomp goes down, but Arrow comes in and takes out the Rack, which is good for Finch, but at the same time, Arrow has to take all this damage, and this is actually a bulky Heatran, not a Scarf Tran like I thought. Although it kind of makes sense because I was saying the entire time that it's Banded Rack. So if it's Banded Rack, then it has to be at least Rocks Tran. But Finch is able to take it down, but at the cost of his Arrow, which, I mean, he couldn't really do anything about it though, because once again, just like in the first game, Mandibuzz is really fat versus Finch's team. Like Arrow and Raikou were his two ways of dealing with it, and then Keldeo maybe. Um, and then maybe Lando T, but Lando T got really weakened from Diggersby on that mispredict from Finch. And now Arrow goes down, and Keldeo and Raikou both went down, so Mandibuzz is pretty much just going to be fat and win here. Lando comes in, and it's actually not even Mandibuzz. It's actually going to be Zoroark taking advantage of the fact that it's concealed, so we don't actually get to see it. But because Cause and Effect knew that the Lando wasn't Scarf, because the Chomp was SD Life Orb, and Finch needs rocks. I mean, it could, in theory, be SD Life Orb Rocks Chomp, but that's highly unlikely. So he goes to Zoroark, and I think Zoroark could live a Scarf EQ anyway. I mean, it would do like 80, I believe, 70 to 80, but would have lived at least. And then Lando goes down, and then he wins anyway with Mandibuzz. So yeah, well, I mean, he goes into Zoroark, it's Mandibuzz, and then he Stone Edges, and he's fine anyway. So Cause and Effect had pretty much no way to lose the game at that point. Like I said, Mandibuzz was fat, and then Zoroark stayed till the end. So Finch ends up losing. The getting Arrow Toxic was really unfortunate because Arrow just did so well versus his team. Terrakion was annoying, which is unfortunate, but not really too much you can do about Terrakion when you bring offense. That's the same thing with Specs Keldeo. It's just something that you have to work around. But Arrow getting Toxic was unfortunate, but Toxic Amoonguss is so uncommon. Like, Cause and Effect definitely came prepared, and brought some unique sets. Definitely not bad sets. They worked out for him, and I can't really call them bad, but what I mean by unique, as in, like, they're not used that much. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade towards them. And I think that led to him winning both games 1 and 3, because Finch is someone that does preparation, and Cause and Effect brought something that Finch wasn't prepared for. And from my experience in playing Finch, when you do that, like 70% of the time you're gonna win if you bring something that he's not prepared for, because Finch does, like, so much of his work is in preparation that if something does not go according to plan, there are problems. But yeah, congratulations to Cause and Effect. And I don't remember what your name is on the forums. I know it's not Cause and Effect, but you have a little black and white picture there that says Cause and Effect. And I remember that, but I don't remember your actual forum name. But congratulations to you. I guess congratulations to Finch for getting in second. I don't know if he's happy about that though, probably not. But second is still pretty good, especially considering I only got like round 3. I think MV got knocked out round 1. Shout out to MV, by the way. Rest in peace, Sova. He's out there in like Italy or something right now, and I'm in humid Florida, so MV might have lost the battle, but he won the war in the end. But shout out to MV, shout out to Finch. I guess I'll leave Finch's description, his link in the description. I don't know if he's gonna narrate these or not. He'll probably give better narration than I do. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy anyways, and yeah, peace. Maybe I'll do some more games later on. Get my channel live, but yeah, later.